So, I know you're under suspense, so I'm continuing How to Disappear by Gillian Mcalister. Page 106. You listening? Yeah. So, Aiden, Islington, London. Tomorrow, Aiden's wife is leaving him. Witness protection, something he was aware of from TV shows, something that might happen to a tiny fraction of the population, something like homelessness, house fires, asylum seeking. He can hardly believe it. Aiden watches Lorraine pack. Her movements are as familiar to him as his own. They met at a wedding, but it was the dates that followed that he really remembers. The day after the wedding, breakfast at the hotel, was it? They ate croissant. Lorraine put cheese in hers, which Aiden told her was wrong. They spoke about weird combinations of food. He's sure that's all they spoke about, but when they looked up, they realized that everybody had gone and hours had passed. They veered from topic to topic. He was an only child. She had a sister. His dad was dead. So were her parents. Both of their fathers had had heart attacks. Her mother had had pancreatic cancer. A swift death, Lorraine had said, ripping another croissant in half. They covered the basics, but the basics were intimate. For them, grief, loss, love. She missed her mother, even though she'd been difficult to really like, Lorraine said, looking at him straight in the eye. And now, here, 10 years later, 9 years of marriage. They married quickly, so sure of each other, and now he's watching her leave him. His chest is full of panic. It feels like there is something trapped inside him that he's fighting to get out. He sits on the edge of the bed while Lorraine packs around him. In 24 hours, she's going to be taken from him forever, and he's not permitted to know where she will be. Already she has pulled away from him. There are things she cannot tell him. He sits there watching her try to decide between two pairs of jeans, then put them both in. And he wonders if he has made the right decision. He sits on the bed facing her so she can't see his phone and log on to his Facebook profile. Within a few minutes, he had deleted all of his friends. Next, he edits his profile, changes his name to something anodyne, James Thomas. Then he removes his photos, anything identifying, but leaves a couple of shots of sunsets and shared posts, just to look like he's not a brand new account. He gives his profile a once over. He's sure he's caught most of it. There is nothing there that he's missed. He is now James Thomas, who likes REM and Tom Hanks and Marvel mainstream. Unidentifying, popular stuff that everybody likes. It is the kind of witness protection he concedes. His own new identity, his own way through. He heads to the bathroom and he looks at himself in the mirror. He's pretty nondescript, 40-something. Lines across his forehead, clean-shaven, round glasses, mid-brown hair, tall. He looks at himself. He hopes nobody will connect James Thomas to the man who sat in the public gallery. The injunction prevented the press from running any photographs, but if he meets these people, they might know him. He finds some old sample contract lenses he got and never wore in an old wash bag and puts them in. He puts his razor away. He'll grow a beard too. Next, he strides into the kitchen and gets out the small black plastic phone he purchased yesterday evening from a market stall in Camden. He places it in the kitchen drawer. Untraceable, undetectable, private. The group has now been made private. Aiden doesn't know why, but his eye through the keyhole is now blocked up. He looks at James Thomas's profile photo, Aiden himself wearing a Halloween costume complete with a mask, and navigates to the closed find girl A group After a second's hesitation, he presses request to join because that is Aiden's plan. He's going to infiltrate them. Why do you want to find girl A? It's a message from somebody calling himself Kevin Green. Aiden goes to Kevin's profile. It's clearly a fake, a brand new account set up, created just a few days ago. No friends. Aiden navigates to Messenger and taps out a reply. Because I want her to get what she deserves, he types. A second later, a new notification pops up. What skills do you have to help find her? Aiden sits on the bed thinking. All he knows is computers. How do people find people? He takes a few seconds more to think before replying. I can build you a setup, he types. To comb the internet to find her. Said to the man in the mask, Kevin says. And then I can join, he writes. We'll see if you pass first. Later he comes out of the shower, stops on the landing after hearing Lorraine's voice. He showered after overhearing her say goodbye to Poppy on the phone. It isn't that I don't love you, she's saying. She's sitting on the bottom step next to the radiator. He stops unseen at the top, just looking. It's just that sometimes in life, she wipes at her nose, you just have to do things you don't want to do. Sometimes adulthood is rocks and hard places, and I know how much you love to chew rocks, but Aiden shifts on his feet and sees she's talking to Bill. His head is in her lap, and she is bent over him, her tears dripping onto his fur. She's leaving the dog behind because she's going to witness protection. Okay? Are you up to date? But does she leave the cat behind? There's no cat in this story yet. Maybe she'll adopt a cat later.
Yeah, maybe.
Lorraine, page 110, Islington, London. Her things are packed. 2 black rectangles sitting on her bed containing everything Lindsay will ever know. She's always been a bad packer. Will take 8 tops on a weekend break. Hannah used to pack for her. She's ruthlessly organized. Overtook Lorraine quickly in being an adult. She cleans a different room every day of the week in her house and has a capsule wardrobe. Lorraine needs to ask Hannah how to pack, but she hasn't even told her she's going. Lorraine can't find the headspace. She's lost everything in a single weekend. There is nothing identifying in Lorraine's cases now. She left her leopard print Converse trainers in the wardrobe. Photographs of Aiden remain here. On the iPhone, she will soon give up to the protection service. She shakes her head as she struggles to do up the zipper. There's nothing identifiable there. Aiden says, it's all blend stuff, Lorraine says. They've told me I can't take anything too personal. No crazy shoes, no zebra print jumpers. Aiden's mouth twists into a sort of smile. She's sure. He remembers the zebra print jumper she first saw across the street in the shop window while they were on holiday in Devon. The next morning he woke to an empty bed and texted Lorraine, "You're not buying that bloody jumper, are you?" She was, yes, but she was also purchasing his reaction, incredulous. A wide smile, a spotlight on her, only her. Her eyes fill with tears as she thinks of all those memories. The time she went to IKEA and couldn't fit her shopping in the car. She had sent him a text. I bought a spontaneous bookcase and it won't fit. He'd left work early to come. They jostled with the flat packs, trying to push them into Aiden's car. Halfway through, he said, "What even is a spontaneous bookcase?" And they doubled over laughing. Lorraine walks upstairs to check how Zara's getting on. As she stands in her doorway, her heart breaks as she watches Zara carefully packing an entire suitcase with library books. "I can't leave them here," she says. "They've got your name on them," Lorraine says gently. Zara shrugs. "But you can bring the ones you own," Lorraine says. "But I've not finished this one," Zara says, brandishing a pale blue book with a clear plastic library cover. I know, Lorraine says. Anyone you want to call before we go, she says lightly. Zara sits on the bed, her hands around her forehead like blinkers. It's just a bit massive, isn't it? I know. I haven't even told Auntie Hannah. Zara throws her an understanding smile. I'm sorry, she says sincerely. She looks at her for a second. We can join a new library. I'm halfway through to All the Boys I've Loved Before. Lorraine raises her shoulders to her ears. She doesn't say any more than that. Doesn't need to. Fine, Zara sets the book down. Let's bounce, as Poppy would say. Zara smiles, which makes Lorraine laugh. She was trying to take library books, Lorraine says when she arrives back in the living room. I wish she hadn't lied, Aiden said. Here now, of all the things to say, if she hadn't lied, this wouldn't be happening, he added, as though that is an explanation. Aiden said goodbye to Zara earlier. Lorraine doesn't know what took place in that conversation, but she hopes it wasn't this. It might. She would have. They would have been angry with her even if she told the truth, Lorraine says. The CPS wouldn't have prosecuted, Aiden says, with the resigned tone of somebody who's 7 steps ahead. Yeah, Lorraine says softly. I don't know what to say, he admits, and she loves him for that. They're parting ways, but there's no divorce, no affair, no death, no illicit text messages discovered on a lit-up iPhone, no condom found in a wallet, no traffic accident, no sudden onset chest pains in the shower. But this is a divorce. This is a deathbed. Make no mistake. What about everyone, she says. Her brain throws up different problems she is not able to deal with. Poppy was so nice about it, but will she privately think her stepmother has abandoned her? What about Hannah? God, Hannah and her baby making. Years and years of IVF behind her. The latest attempt commenced a few weeks ago. What if it works? What if it doesn't? I'm going to tell Hannah the truth, Aiden says. Yes, and the rest. I think I'm going to say what? Lorraine says sharply. He's blushing across his cheekbone. Say we split up. Her eyes widen. Well, what am I supposed to tell them? Aiden asks. That you've gone on a fucking holiday? Don't swear at me, she says, sinking into the armchair, her legs weak. I don't know. It'll result in the least questions, he says. They'll think I'm an ignorant cow, never saying goodbye. My colleagues, I'll say I've had an affair. She looks up sharply. Don't say that. Don't taint us. Her eyes were wet. Aiden blurs as she looks at him. We've got to let that go, he says. We can't care what they think. We need to keep you safe. Lorraine says nothing, staring at the 2 suitcases. We haven't split up, she says. No? Haven't we? No. Neither of them says anything for a few minutes. 2 years, Aiden says. She raises her eyes to him. He's looking straight at her. They said yesterday that it's supposed to be forever, she says softly. Okay, well, I'm not going anywhere. He puts his hands on his hips. Am I? No. I'll be faithful, waiting here for you. I'll see you again. I know I will. Lorraine closes her eyes. I know, she says. Okay, 2 years. If you don't hear from me, move on. I think I will hear from you, he says. As she looks curiously at him, a signal passes between them. She's not sure what, but it's more than just chemistry. It's something. Stay safe, he holds her gaze. He reaches behind him for the doorknob, still looking at her. He opens the door a few inches, letting the cool winter air in. Well, he says. They don't embrace or kiss. It would be too loaded. The final kiss, the final touch. Instead, he does something far more intimate. He reaches over and ruffles her hair, just the ends of it, mussing them up, tangling the ends. His touch on her shoulders, light. He retreats through the door. After that, She watches him go down the street, the sunlight behind him, leaving him in the shadow. She reaches for her suitcase and thinks she won't brush her hair, not ever again. Those strands tangled by her husband will intertwine forever.